I want to share a conversation that I'm having back and forth with my spirit, with my father. And I thought I would bring it forth because, again, whoever can be inspired by it, that's what I'm here to do. But the conversation I'm having is that as I'm sitting here, and I can show you the view, I was just sitting here, just admiring. I don't know if you could see it or not, but just admiring outside, just sitting here and admiring my outside, the trees and stuff. And I noticed there are no birds flying around. Every now and then I see a bird, or every now and then I hear a bird. So the conversation started. I say, Father, why don't I see any birds? Why aren't there any birds flying? And I know the saying, or what the little joke or something, why did the birds fly south? And then they say because it was too cold or something. I don't know. But birds change their location. I don't even think that's the joke. But birds change their locations, during the winter. I guess they fly south. But that's how the conversation started. I asked God, I say, Father, why aren't there any birds flying? And he say, I told you. And I'm like, so when he told me, I told you, when I heard I told you, it stems back to the last conversation I made where God was describing the winter and what Mother Earth is doing during the winter, and seasons in our lives are winter seasons, and these are things we should be doing as well. Not per se the weather seasons, but the different seasons in our lives, because each one of us could be at a different season at any time. So during those winter seasons, God was sharing with me what's going on within the spirit and also within nature. So again, the conversation started, Father, why aren't there any birds flying around? Because I don't see not one bird. But like I say, every blue moon, I'll see a bird and I'll hear a bird. So the Father say, I told you. So now why I don't see the birds is because this is a time for us during the winter seasons. It's time for us to go within and really give inventory to the things we're involved in, the things, the people, the places. Just go through our life with as I said, as a fine-tooth comb, just analyzing, inspecting our life. And that takes going within and finding out, is this something you want? Is this something you need to get rid of, downsize, increase, patterns, habits, people, jobs, relationships, thoughts, whatever the case may be. This winter season is the time to go in and do a review of everything that's involved with your life, inner and outer. And some of us do this every day, all day. Some of us try our best to have a lifestyle of this type of inspection. The Bible say, like the Sabbath is the day of rest. Some of us have a day of rest every day, all day. It's just not one day to some people. It's every day, all day. But again, so the birds not being in the air, and God told me, I told you why. Because this is a time of inspection. And the birds to me symbolizes thoughts, right now. That's how God is giving me the symbology of the birds during the winter time are our thoughts. And we know that birds bring forth messages and So all those messages that are coming through our minds during the winter season, we should be in a space of no thought. And as I said, some of us live that lifestyle of having no thought. And the every now and then bird you see fly by, or that every now and then thought, or that every now and then sound you hear, message that comes, I'm talking about inner, that can be, you're now getting very familiar with the voice of God, with the voice of your own spirit, because you've secluded, got rid of all those thoughts, messages just bombarding the mind of the other busy seasons in our lives. Sometimes, and like I say, a lot of us do this every day, all day. We have a lifestyle of no thought, because every thought that crossed my mind, every message that I hear in my spirit, I want to make sure that all other voices are sounded out, and this is the only voice that I'm listening and looking to hear and see in my life. We're not perfect, but these are progressions to where we're going, and just where some people choose to be. So a couple of days ago, as I was coming back from town, I saw a dead squirrel in the middle of the road. And to me, that's not a common sight you see. Different roadkill, but a squirrel. And I know it wasn't a rat. I know it wasn't a groundhog or beaver or whatever. It was a squirrel. And this was like 2 days ago. And as me and God was having the conversation, because as I was driving home and I saw the dead squirrel in the middle of the road, it did cross my mind, there's a message here, but I didn't really take time to find out what the message was. I just saw the dead squirrel and say, now if I want to go deep, I can find out what this squirrel in this road is meaning, what God is telling me through the dead squirrel. And so that was like 2 days ago. And as I was having the conversation sitting here and looking at nature and asking God questions, and we're having a conversation back and forth, me and my spirit, the dead squirrel came up. And I was like, wow. So going along with why there aren't many birds, and no birds hardly flying in the sky during the winter season, is because it's time to get rid of all the thoughts, that busy thought life, just the busyness of the mind, and go within and sort out, inspect the life. So the dead squirrel to me represent, God was showing me, he brought up the dead squirrel. And again, a couple of days ago, I saw it. So the dead squirrel is telling me that, again, this is winter season, and to me, I didn't really Google or whatever what the meaning of a squirrel mean and stuff, but to me, as I look at squirrels, they're very busy. They're just Speedy Gonzales, highly active, and I'm just going to leave that definition to what I'm receiving now. So that dead squirrel is, again, letting us know during the winter seasons, and like I said, we could have different winter seasons within our lives at different times. Just because it's winter on the outside, which I would like to be in sync with nature, but we have winter seasons at different times in our lives. In the middle of spring, you could pop into a winter season. So you got to know what's going on within your life at what time sequence in your life. So God showed me, or put the parallel together with the dead squirrel and the birds, meaning this is actually time that the busyness, The busyness of the activities, the busyness of the thoughts, and the busyness of just life, just busy, busy, busy. It's times you have to step back and go into that winter season as far as hibernating and really going in and calming all those thoughts down, slowing that life pace down. No thoughts. We should be aspiring to the spiritual level of no thoughts. I mean, realize how many thoughts are flooding your mind at any given time. This is things we need to be aware of. If your mind is back and forth, running all over the place, worry and stress and just busy, 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 that some at one time or another has got to cease. And then that way, when you've calmed that body, that mind down, now the spirit within you can come and have a conversation. And now you're beginning to become one with your own spirit of what you sound like in you, what the God sounds like within you. And the only way you could become familiar with your own God within you, your own spirit, with the voice of God, is you got to get rid of them thoughts that floods the mind. You have to slow that speedy pace. You can't live like that all the time. That speedy, speedy, speedy. And I used to be that type of person. I'm a high adrenaline. I got high off the rush of life. But you can't live like that forever. So learning to analyze and be aware of the different seasons in our lives at different times. So yes, there are no birds flying around. It's winter season in nature. So it's time to go within. And those birds represent the thoughts. It's time to have no thoughts. So that every now and then bird you hear and see, you'll know that's coming from some other place. That's coming from within. It's not the busyness of the world as that dead squirrel represents. It's not the busyness. No, God said, cease it. I just thought I would bring that forth. So, to them who have ears to hear, let them hear, and have a blessed day.